Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today. I'm excited to be here with you, getting into my weekly check-in, week 3 of the July budget. So week 3 for me is the 11th through the 17th. This month, Thursdays are no spend days. Just happen to happen that way, and I'm going to claim it for next week and going forward from there. So we'll see how long I will do that, but it seems to be a good day not to spend, especially when this is a day I film what we have spent. So what we're going to do today is check off everything that we spent here based on their category. I have 6 categories, plus I also have a sinking fund that I left the cash in the checking account that was put on the credit card and bills that were put on the credit card. So all this goes on the credit card, all spending, and then I pay it off once a week, which is usually on Thursdays. I've actually already made the payment, so we're good to go. What's left on the credit card is an amount that I have designated as our debt after making a debt pay down, and I'm excited about that and look forward to see how that changes at the end of the month and hopefully get a debt update to you guys here in the next month or so. That is how long it's going to take because I got a lot going on right now. But let's go ahead and get into the weekly check-in part. So we're just doing the spending that we've done on the credit card. I have my list here. I've already broken everything down and written it down, make it easier on me and you guys, so you're not waiting all day for me to write everything down. So the first thing I have here is Meijer's grocery store. It's $156.11. The usual stuff, nothing spectacular here, just a grocery pickup with the stuff that we normally consume. Next thing I have is $99.13, another grocery pickup. They didn't have everything I wanted, so that was good. It kept it under $100, and just some midweek things I needed to get that I actually didn't fill here and needed to buy here. So we go through a lot of milk, we go through a lot of things throughout the week, and depending on what sales are happening, depends on how much I actually spend. And this month I really spent above what we could probably for all our grocery household stuff because there were some really good sales that happened all at once, and I spent a lot at the beginning of the month. Hopefully I don't have to nearly as much going through the next few months. I did forget to put down ground beef that I had frozen that I stocked up on and ran to the store and got that and some snacks. It was $10.84 for all of that. And that is all the grocery household that I got this week. I was going to include this Amazon purchase, but we'll go over what that is later and decide to do miscellaneous. It can go either way. So let me total this up real quick. We spent $266.08. Next we have is restaurants. I will say that we had one extra day of eating out because my parents and I got together with the whole family, the 4 of us and my parents, and went out to eat at Sonny's on Sunday. So there was an extra eating out I didn't plan. If I didn't know on Friday that we were going to do that, if I was going to know that, I would have done something different for Friday so we wouldn't have to spend as much, and hopefully keep the cost down. But that's not what happened. It was a last minute decision I didn't want to say no to because we don't do it very often. And my parents moved to this area where I live last year. They've been here almost an entire year, and yeah, it's been great and they love it. So we try to get together, not too frequently, but enough to spend time together. So we spent $35.53. My sons ordered their pizza, had it delivered, and all the things. We tipped the guy. DoorDash we like to tip just because, these people are trying to make some money on the side, and, we just want to tip and give to those people. They have electric bills too to pay. We don't skimp on that. $58.73. My husband and I went to B-Dubs or Buffalo Wild Wings just to get some. He wanted a couple drinks and I like their nachos there, so I got that, and he got some wings. We had dinner there and spent good quality time there on a date night, I guess. And then the family dinner with my parents. Now this was just the 4 of us, including the tip, which I think is really good for a sit-down restaurant for $58 $1,253, less than 60 bucks for adults. It was a lunchtime special, so that worked out in our favor too, and it was a reasonable place to go get something to eat. That was Sunny's barbecue place here. The last thing I have is I just had to have some Chick-fil-A. Stress eating, I guess. $7.73. Life's getting a little crazy. It was so good a couple weeks ago. I wanted to go back and do it again, so I did, and I probably shouldn't have, but I'll be okay. I'm going to go ahead and total these up. We spent $160.52, way more than I expected, and yeah, it's kind of difficult this next 2 weeks. Next I have is miscellaneous. I'm going to start over here. Now this was to go with this Amazon purchase here on Prime Day. I did a couple Amazon Prime Day purchases. First one charged at $86.97. We paid that last week. And then I have another one here, and as you can see, it's $161.11. And to go with it was this $28.61. This is a walking pad for the house for me and my sons to use, hopefully on the daily. I wanted a mat or something to go underneath it because of our carpet's very plush, and just have somewhere to put it without, damaging our carpet. I forgot when I made all the numbers work and made the debt payment to include this. So I just threw it in miscellaneous because it was a walking pad mat. It was a mat for gym equipment or things like that. So first thing I have here is $28.61. And I could have put it on budget, but I just didn't, because I already moved all the money over, and I was like, no, I'll see if I can make it work under miscellaneous. And then $17.80. I needed something for my lower back to sit on in my office desk chair, because it's part of the reason my back hurts. I got this cushion to sit on, very popular, and heavily discounted to $17.80. It was, I think, originally $30. So pretty good on Amazon. I just threw that under miscellaneous. Then I also got this here for $37.46 on Amazon. Trying to remember what that is, so let me look that up. So what I discovered was it was a combination of me and my husband. He needed bee sting kits of removal. He's been stung by wasps twice in 11 days. So, and one was at work, one was at home. And so he wanted something in his truck that he can have with him to kind of remove, the sting. Like if he needs to remove the stinger or whatever is injected into the skin from the stinger and the irritation, kind of do that. You can get things like lidocaine patches and stuff like that. That can also numb the area. So we got some stuff like that. Not necessarily for him, but I do have it. And I did order it because of my back. Hopefully pain starts subsiding. The chiropractic stuff is working perfectly, but I also noticing this is more muscular, not skeletal. So chiropractic only works on the skeletal system, whereas the muscle system or muscular system, it's not always taken care of by chiropractic. So I just wanted something to make me more comfortable to sleep at night. I used to do this all the time, but now I wanted some patches again. So all that combined with the bee sting kit, there was something else. Oh, I got some whiteout. I'm on my last thing of whiteout, and I love these. I get a box of 10 combo correction tape, hybrid style, and it works perfect, and I love it. So I got that too. So that was included in there, all miscellaneous stuff, and that covers everything for miscellaneous. Let me total that up. All right, we spent $83.37. Okay. Gasoline, we have $63.36. That is what I spent to get gas in my truck, and that's a full tank of gas for me. Copays, I have two pharmacies here, Walgreens and Meijer pharmacies, from one for me, one for my son, and that totaled $347 plus $560, $9.07. We might have some more prescriptions like towards the after the 20th, but I'm not sure yet. We'll have to wait and see. But we should have enough to cover it for the rest of the month. And then I'm going to go ahead and stop there because this is the weekly check-in part. Did I check everything off? No. Oh, I forgot unbudgeted. So $161 unbudgeted. It is a walking pad. It was on sale on Amazon. Pretty decent discount. And it's just simple, small, compact. I can slide it underneath a piece of furniture or, stand it up off to the side. Things like that. I'm going to turn to my weekly check-in. Okay, for my spending categories in my weekly check-in, this is how I like to look at it. I start with the total at the beginning and work my way down, and then kind of try to balance, spend less in one week and more in another, whatever we have to do in order to make sure we're taking care of things. Now, I did have this Amazon subscribe and save. It was at $131 at the beginning of the month, but I keep adjusting it. So I adjusted at $39 because we took something off. And then I adjusted again because something is out of order or backs. They don't have it available, whatever that's called. So I took $20 off here. So that number is going to change again. Not that I spent anything, I'm just making an adjustment. That's what ADJ stands for there. But I'm adding that $20 because normally all of our Amazon subscribe and save comes, well, not normally, always comes out of grocery household because that's what the items are. They're mostly supplements and things for the whole family. I take it out of grocery household. So if I adjust this and make it less, I increase grocery household. So that's what I have here. And that's how we're going to figure out our balances. So $619.99 is what I ended week 2 with and began week 3 with. And I added the $20 I took out of here. And I'm going to subtract the $266.08. And that leaves me with $373.91. So that's good to go right there. Now I have $269.65. And I'm going to subtract the $106.52 we already used. It leaves me $109.13. So that's normally just under $100, $80 to $100 is what we spend in a week with tip and depending on restaurants and stuff like that. So there wouldn't be enough for 2 weeks, and we have 2 weeks left still. We have 12 days left. Either I'm going to go over or I'm going to try to reduce that somehow to fit. More than likely, I'll just go over because our routine was thrown out of sequence when I had that extra eating out day with my family that the 4 of us went on. If not, that 53 that we spent would be sitting in here, and then I would divide it by 2 and it would have been a lot easier. But I didn't want to say no to an opportunity, and so this is what I have to keep in mind going forward for the next 12 days. Now, as you can see, miscellaneous is gone. Had 86 and we spent $83.37. That left me with $2. Is that right? I did my math wrong. It should have been $83.87. Let's do that again. $28.61 plus $17.80 and $37.46. $83.87. I knew it was off somehow. I do this ahead of time and it wasn't matching up. Now it matches. Okay. So 83 and make this an 8. 87. So $86 minus 83.87. There we go. $2.13. That's what I have left in miscellaneous, so that can scoot to whatever category I need to cover. I have no more miscellaneous unless I want to go over, and I don't want to go over because that means I would be in debt. I don't have enough in the checking account to cover it. I know exactly what I'm spending and what's protected for these categories and what is protected for the bills, and if anything's left over. If you saw my paycheck to set up, it said negative 15 cents. So I'm really cutting it close, and I really have to pay close attention as we go in the next 12 days. Now, gasoline, we are good to go. 157.46 minus the 63.36. I have $94 here. Copay here is $39.28. No doctor's appointments this month, but we did spend $9.07 on prescriptions, and my son and I might have one or two more at the end of the month. I'm not sure yet. And then we're just going to make the adjustment from $92 to $72 to cover what's left in the subscribe and save. I went online and I just totaled it up. Now, this doesn't really have the tax, so I'll have to figure that out once it hits, and it'll hit probably on the 24th or the 26th. I can't remember which, but when it does hit, I will have those transactions in the weekly check-in, and I will take it out of here, and if I'm negative, then I'll move from one of the other accounts. So we'll make sure it's covered. It's just I'm not exactly sure what tax is going to be just yet, and I could have estimated a little higher, but I knew I was cutting it close all month, so I just wanted to make sure I keep myself in check when it comes to this. Now, all of these have been paid for. That's what I use this note section for. If you do something like this and print your own stickers or buy sticker kits, you can use the note section for anything, whether it's you take that amount that you have left and like our grocery household and divide it by 2 for 2 weeks. I'm looking at 186, close to 187 a week. Total for groceries and household, and I don't have any more. That's it. And then like 109.13, I have 2 weekends, divided by 2, and that's $54.56 a weekend. If we did do it and didn't go out any extra, that would mean we could probably get Papa John's as a family and have it delivered for 2 weeks, and that would be the whole family's eating out. And that's all we have budgeted left, so that's an option. We'll see how that works out, what my husband thinks of that. Probably doesn't think too highly of that. And then gasoline, I think I'm good. I don't know if I'm going to have to fill up again before the new month. I'm hoping to stretch it out all the way to the next 12 days until the new paycheck period. So we'll see if we can make it, and if we have extra room in here, that can cover some of the groceries and some of the eating out if we go over. And then it could cover this $2 and stuff, could cover the Amazon subscribe and save, because I'm not going to spend any more miscellaneous. And copay, we'll see if I have any extra there. So that's what we're looking at for the weekly check-in, and how much I have left in each category. And this is why I do have these categories and things kind of laid out like this. Not a lot of categories. There are 6, but really the first 2 are the ones I really have to pay the most close attention on and think things through, and what does the other categories tell me, and how am I going to reach the end of the month without going over what I have left in my checking account, and still make sure all the bills are paid. That is the priority. And so this, breaking it down this way, helps me do that, and hopefully if you have a system like this, it helps you do that as well. That is why I do my weekly check-in. I'm going to move this. Now, I wrote down week 2, what we spent in unbudgeted here. It was only 1 transaction, and then week 3. Normally, I used to have unbudgeted right here, but because I'm making sure I'm protecting the Amazon subscribe and save, and it's been an eye-opener to see what changes throughout the month. I thought I would set it at the beginning of the month, didn't even think about it, and it would carry all the way to the end, but no, I was wrong. So separating it out of grocery household, making it its own line item. I might actually make 7 lines here for all this. I have the room to do it. Do my own budget, do the subscribe and save, and still keep track. I think I won't do it next month because I've already laid stickers down for next month. And so I'll have to wait. But I do have this 111 for your budget just noted right here. Now we're going to move on to how much do I owe the credit card. Know everything we spent here. All this, except for that adjustment there, all that is spending. And then I need to include the sinking fund that I left sitting in the checking account, the actual cash for it to transfer. And the only reason I left the cash sitting there because I get a bill. It's due on the 10th, I think, of every month. Not every month, every 3 months. And when it hits, I adjust the sinking fund before I do the sinking fund video for you guys and set it up. Once I get the bill, I just adjust it to make it 0 so it's exactly what I need. And then instead of sending all the sinking fund money to the savings and then paying the checking from the savings, I left it in the checking account and I sent to the savings the difference. And then I sent from the checking I sent from the checking account to the credit card this payment along with everything else. It was just kind of tied in together. And I have it written here so I didn't forget that. And I didn't. So we are good to go there. And it was just sitting in the checking account waiting to be paid on the credit card. Bills, I do have 3 bills. HP Instant Ink. That's the one I hadn't paid yet. That was $8.47. Even though I included it in the paycheck, I knew it was going to get taken care of. I hadn't paid it on the credit card yet. It did hit the it did hit the credit card for me to count it here on paycheck 1. I just hadn't moved the money over just quite yet. And then over here I've had one Dr. Odell. I need to schedule another one. All the slots get filled up, but I did have a chiropractic appointment. I've been going weekly and it's been amazing. So grateful. And then we also had AT&T, which is $312.24, and that includes 3 leases as well as the service, unlimited talk, text, all the things. But 3 of us do not own our own phones. 2 of us will in October. So that is going to happen, and that needs, that should lower how much we are paying on the credit card. For the bills, we have $847 plus 45 plus 312.24, and that gives us $365.71. Now I need to total everything on this sheet to know how much to pay the credit card back. That way, everything that was spent, bills and expenses and sinking funds and unbudgeted and all the things, is not sitting on the credit card as debt. That is the goal. That is what we do. I like doing it this way. I want to keep doing it this way. We did get in a little bit of debt problem with some emergencies. We finally did use the emergency fund and just kind of ripped the Band-Aid off and took care of it. But I have a little bit of debt left, and I'm pretty sure I'll get it paid off in the next few months. I'm excited. So I'm going to total up all these numbers together and give me one amount to pay the credit card, because that's the one location it's at. And let's total these numbers up. Okay, got it on the first try. I'm so excited. Sometimes I have to do it a few times because I hit the wrong key or something, but it's $1,193.94. That is what had to go to the credit card to pay for all the spending in our spending categories, our bills and sinking funds and all the things that got charged to the credit card to bring it back to 0 after all this spending. This is what we had to pay, and we are good to go for the rest of the month. It's out of the checking account. I can't spend it. It's on the credit card. I still could spend it on a credit card, but that means it goes into debt, and that hurts worse. And I just, having that feeling of the debt just was painful. So painful, and I just can't go there again. Just can't do it. Okay, so that is my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe and like and all the things, and I will see you in the next video. Hope you have an amazing and blessed day. Bye. So you think we can